5 kilometres to go in this stage, and Chris Nicholson with his new booties rolls across the line, and in behind him comes rider number 42, his teammate, that's Elliot Crowther, and then it's Paul Odlin. So PowerNet and Calder Stewart at the front, and they will be setting up Hayden Roulston for the sprint. He wants those time bonuses.
They've kept the pace so high in this peloton. They've chased back every breakaway that went, just to make sure that Hayden Roulston had a chance to get some time bonuses on the finish line and try and overtake Jack Bauer's lead.
I don't see any Share the Road riders there. I can see Orcavello Marino setting up for the finish for their man Alex Ray. I can see Jackson Plumbing setting up for their sprinter, but Cody Stevenson. And of course we've got this combine at the front of Calder Stewart and PowerNet, but I do not see Share the Road trying to set up their man Jack Bauer.
They're just sitting in their back there at the moment, obviously, waiting. Jack Bauer has to. He's got to try and beat Hayden Roulston in the sprints, or he's got to try and find some other people to beat Hayden Roulston in these sprints. Simon
Finnecane is enjoying the ride at the back of the peloton. Joe Cooper there. And Joe always keen for a crack at the front. And here he goes, taking a flyer. Joe Cooper, the king of the mountains, wants to be the first into Lumsden. And Share the Road won't worry about that. They'll be quite happy for him to do it on his polka dot Avanti. And in behind, well, there they are, PowerNet and Calder Stewart, and they're not too worried about that either. They're going to let Joe Cooper go. Who's going to chase them down? It'll have to come from one of the other teams, maybe Orcavello or Jackson Plumbing, the team of Cody Stevenson.
Well, I'd be surprised if PowerNet or Calder Stewart Bike International let Joe Cooper go. He's taking valuable bonus seconds off Hayden Roulston. Hayden needs everything he can to try and win this tour.
Very quickly, Johnny, is that Avanti King of the Mountains bike going to become available?
I don't think so. One of their sponsors on the Subway Avanti team is a signwriting team, a signwriting company, and they've actually got them to help them out and put some paint some signwrite, some beautiful pink spots on that bike to make it match his jersey, and that's real Tour de France style, isn't it?
It really is. Okay, here's the peloton. We're looking at the back of it. One of the radio sport riders there, and a rider from Placemakers, but here we go over the crest. And they'll come down around a corner and they'll get 2Ks to go, and they swirl around this town. They go up the back part and then round a corner and then back towards us into the finish, coming from the opposite direction. It's a bit confusing, but you'll see how it works. And at the front, Joe Cooper.
Well, Calder Stewart Bike International couldn't have chosen a better team to help them today, could they, if PowerNet's going to be helping them?
Well, they're all trackies, so they're all endurance riders from the track squad.
And they're all fast guys too. Tom Scully, they're all fast guys to set up a sprint as well. And they've got Tom Scully in there. Of course, it's got some great news that we heard as a rumour today that Tom Scully's going to be going and joining the Garmin Slipstream development team, the under-23 team, as we see Joe Cooper being taken over by this fast-moving train of Calder Stewart riders.
And it's Jeremy Vettel on the front. There's the yellow jersey of Jack Bauer. And look who he's marking, Hayden Roulston. That's all he's got to do. And here comes a flyer coming from one of the riders from Subway Avanti. So they had Joe Cooper, and now they've got somebody else having a crack at the front. As we head into town, and we've got about a kilometre and a bit to go, and Alex Ray on the front there, and he'll be keen to win this stage. So it's Subway Avanti have a rider off the front. There's the 1K to go board.
That's Ian Smallman off the front for Subway Avanti. It looks like they might be playing into the hands or helping out the Share the Road guys here, trying to get to the finish first and eat up some of these points, also win the stage for themselves, of course.
Sam Whitmitz at the front, and no, that's in fact Floyd Landis. Floyd Landis doing the work for Alex Ray. Alex, welcome to big time bike racing. And it's Calder Stewart now who take over at the front, and they'll have their trackies on there. There'll be Tom Scully. I see Shane Archibald at the back there, and Myron Simpson will be in there as well. And tucked in behind them, getting an armchair ride, is Hayden Roulston. Share the Road around the outside. The yellow jersey is safely tucked up behind Hayden Roulston. He's just got to mark him and pip him on the line, or try to, as the PowerNet guys swoop around the corner. There's Alex Ray in there as well. Anthony Chapman's in there. They're all queuing up to win this one as they go up the back straight, past the old pub, the railway line that we've just been across for the Kingston Flyer. It doesn't exist anymore, but the station is still here in Lumsden. So up the back straight at Lumsden, and they disappear off into the distance, and thanks to the commissaires we can't see what's going on, but we'll try and pick them up as we come into the finishing straight, so bear with us, folks. I'm afraid we weren't allowed to film this for you, so we've got no idea what's going on at the front there, and we'll try and pick them up as they head around the far corner. And it looks like PowerNet. It looks like PowerNet from this distance. Let's cut to a camera if we've got one on the far side. There we go, PowerNet. And that's Shane Archibald on the front. And in behind him we've got the team of Calder Stewart. And it's going to be Calder Stewart down the outside. Here's Hayden Roulston. Hayden Roulston at the front with one of his teammates alongside him. They hit the line. Hayden Roulston. Clinton Avery makes an appearance. What a close finish that was. 11 1,000ths of a second between Hayden Roulston and Clinton Avery. On the outside, Mike Northey and then Greg Henderson.
So Hayden Roulston gets his sprint on to win the stage and the 6-second time bonus that goes with it. Clinton Avery second, Mike Northey, Greg Henderson, and in fifth, Alex Ray. 6 seconds for the stage win plus 1 second for the intermediate sprint means that instead of being 3 seconds behind Jack Bauer, Hayden Roulston is now 4 seconds ahead of him. Jeremy Yates still there in third, Floyd Landis and Michael Olheiser in fifth. A lot of people might think 4 seconds you might have it in the bag now. Is the race over?
It's never over. I mean, it's just seen 4 of the last 5 years. It's always been decided on the stage this morning, you know. So, no, I never had the attitude. I'd rather cross the line and then I'll tell you it's over.